this shutdown is completely unnecessary. Many times before, Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have warned about how irresponsible government shutdowns are and how much they cost and how disruptive they are to people's lives, but yet that's exactly what they've done. I've voted 3 times to keep the government open, but right now the Democrats are holding the American people hostage on this one, and Chuck Schumer is really holding his Democrat members hostage on this because many of them know this is wrong. They've spoken out against it in the past, but yet they're continuing to vote against a clean CR. Nonpartisan CR does nothing more than keep government open at the current level, something they voted for 13 times in the past. They're rejecting it now. The compromise is when the American public finally wakes up the Democrats to let them know that this is ridiculous, that they need to do their jobs, they need to vote to fund the government, and when that happens, eventually they will cave. They know it's wrong, they've spoken out against it in the past, and the American people are being the ones that will make the difference on this one.
Fortunately, our House Republican colleagues are not here. So when you ask me what it's like in Washington right now, the answer is it feels empty. Because Speaker Mike Johnson canceled session this week. The House Republicans are home on vacation. The Democrats are here. The Senate, of both parties in the Senate, are here trying to resolve the situation, but House Republicans are MIA, and they need to recognize the urgency of this. The urgency of passing a bill to reopen the government so that federal workers can get paid, and also the urgency of dealing with this healthcare crisis. The thing that has triggered this entire shutdown is the fact that funding for the Affordable Care Act is about to expire. If it expires, then people's health insurance costs are going to skyrocket. We are insisting that there be funding included in the budget to maintain the Affordable Care Act so that people's costs do not go up. Republicans have disagreed with us on that, but the thing that needs to happen is we need to get ourselves together, have a negotiation, and work this thing out quickly. Unfortunately, House Republicans leaving town has really stalled the whole process. We need to make sure that the American people understand that this shutdown doesn't need to happen, and this huge increase to healthcare costs that is looming starting January 1st does not need to happen. But in order for us to prevent that skyrocketing healthcare costs from going into effect and to keep the government open, we need House Republicans to come back to Washington, sit down with us, and work this thing out, not be derelict in their duty by staying home when we are in the midst of this crisis. So, I am here, we are here, the Democrats of the House are. We are asking our House Republican colleagues to do the responsible thing, come back to Washington so that we can work this thing out now. Their leadership has made a political calculation that, letting the government shut down will somehow make the Democrats look bad, even though the Republicans are in full control of government. I think that their leadership is failing them right now, and I know that a lot of them, at least privately, feel that way. They haven't had the courage to say so publicly, but I know a lot of them want to come back, work together, pass a bipartisan budget, fix the healthcare crisis, all the things that I am here and we are here on the Democratic side prepared to do.
This is a result of a White House that is led by Donald Trump, a Republican, a House and a Senate that are in Republican hands who have decided to put a shutdown above the healthcare needs of the American people. So my mission is to articulate the impact on the 40,000 Rhode Islanders who won't be able to afford their health insurance because of the president's refusal and congressional Republicans' refusal to extend the premium tax credits for the Affordable Care Act. So my number one mission is to raise the alarm and prod my colleagues, my Republican colleagues in the House who are not in town. They have not been here for days. I showed up here on Monday, I showed up here on Tuesday, and I will continue to advocate for Rhode Islanders. That's mission number one. And the colleagues that I have on the Republican side know exactly what they're doing. They chose shutdown over their constituents.
I mean, the National Park Services and the Forest Services have already seen huge cuts from this administration, staffing cuts that have led to longer wait times, less trash being picked up, fewer bathrooms opened, and frustration from neighbors and visitors who've come from around the world to visit our national parks. It only gets worse under a shutdown. And when families travel a few states away, a few counties away, or from another country to visit the incredible Olympic National Park and the whole rainforest, how bad for our economy is it that they might arrive to a shut gate and decide to take their vacation elsewhere? This is a jewel of the peninsula and deserves us to continue funding these resources. The other concern that I'll say is when we see a shutdown and we see lack of staffing, when we see lack of bathrooms being open and trash not being picked up, what also happens is people use the bathroom in the woods. And that impacts the watershed all around the peninsula, and it impacts our ability to continue protecting salmon, continue having clean drinking water. It's bad for our environment. And I'm hoping that we have a fast and reasonable bipartisan end to this shutdown so that members of Congress can get back to work for the American people and that federal workers can get back to their jobs and have the security of their paycheck. I remember what it was like when my family was impacted by a shutdown in 95, 96.